Hello, everyone, and welcome. Before we begin, let's just take a moment to settle in. Just settle your shoulders, drop your jaw, and just take a breath. Don't change it. Just be aware of your breath. Is it shallow? Is it tight? Are you holding it in a certain area? Often that happens. We're not even aware where our breath goes. So just be aware of that breath. All right. I'm Julie Stein, and I'm here with my good friend and breathwork expert, Taber. So before we even begin and talk about breathwork, can you share with us what got you into this breath work?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for asking. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course.
So I am an occupational therapist. I think the most important thing is to know that as an OT, we really look at the whole body. We focus on every aspect. We want to try to get our clients back to whatever their prior life was. What if they want to learn to play the piano again, if they want to be walking and engaging with their grandkids again, it doesn't matter. That's my job, as I try to figure out different ways to get them back to their daily activities. So with that, how this whole journey of breathwork started is my husband and I have been trying to have a kid, and really we're struggling with infertility for over 7 years. And so we ended up realizing, well, with all the medical appointments, of course, everyone's like, you need to relax more. And of course, that's not going to happen when you're trying to have a kid.
Right.
And you're having
It's the last thing that's on your mind.
The last thing. I can't relax. And so it was through some counseling that one of my counselors had said, I really feel like you should try this type of breath work. It might help to kind of reset and restart your nervous system. It was the 4-7-8 breath work technique, where we inhale for 4, we hold for 7, and we exhale for 8
Seconds.
Thank you. And so the big thing when we were working on that is I couldn't do it to save my life. And so right away, I started to realize, well, maybe there is something behind this. And once I started practicing breath work, I started to realize my nervous system, my anxiousness, I would always go into these appointments already hyper vigilant. So increased heart rate, anxious, all of those nervous system things that you're like, I just want this to work. And I started implementing it before I would go into the practice, and I would start to realize that maybe this person was on to something. And so my body would kind of reset, and I would kind of have more of that calm. I would change. It would become more of that rest and digest and more of that calm. So I really started using this approach, and I was doing it probably pretty much daily for sure. Maybe it was 2 times a day while I was going through this whole infertility process.
Just practicing that one
Yep.
simple technique. And that's the beautiful thing about breath work. We don't need equipment. It doesn't cost us everything. But so many people don't know how to breathe.
I know.
The classes that I've taught, yesterday I had a retreat with some women, and you were there.
Yeah.
And people just don't know how to breathe.
Yeah.
It becomes so automatic, like our heart beating. We don't pay attention to it. So we don't even realize that the breath is what can calm us down. Our breath affects our mind, our body, our spirit, everything. Breath is such a powerful tool.
Yeah. It's best with no equipment needed. I think the most important thing is just time and a place of quiet, just for you to focus in on the breath. So one of the 2 things that there's kind of like 2 modes. We have people that do belly breathing, and we also have people that do 360 diaphragmatic breathing. And the optimal type of breathing is what we would consider 360 diaphragmatic breathing. And that's really, it has the word diaphragm in it. So the important piece is really trying to expand that diaphragm as much as possible. That's ideal, optimal. But we learn.
I was going to say, but most people say do the belly breath.
Yeah,
right?
so the belly breath is what you often hear in your yoga classes. And you're looking at expansion of just the belly and not really thinking and trying to connect the mind and the breath together. So when we do the 360, we're really, really focused on that diaphragm. Your diaphragm, your breath work is kind of like this canister. This diaphragm is one of the biggest, most important drivers of like the conductor of the train.
Cool.
It's doing up and down work for breath work. And all of this, once we figure out how to breathe, we usually often have decreased. I can even hear, I just even, when I talk about it, I can just kind of realize that my nervous system starts to kind of relax a little bit. I know, it's so cool. But the big thing is with the diaphragm, when you inhale and exhale, your diaphragm either goes up or down, depending on your inhale or your exhale. But the big thing is making it expanding. So one of the big things we try to teach people in 360 diaphragmatic breathing is to really take awareness to that rib cage and diaphragm expansion.
Okay.
And when you have that, you end up starting to kind of reset that nervous system to in a more calmer state instead of being so hyped.
Okay, so 360, as I hear you saying, on your diaphragm. So the breath should be going like this, not your belly going out.
You're doing all of it. It's like everything's moving.
Okay.
So like if I look here, I got movement with my thumb, I got movement with my fingers, and I even have some movement right in that crease. So as I'm breathing, it's all working in a coordinated
You want to feel
position.
movement from everything in your
You got
hands
it.
as you're breathing. So you're breathing so that your diaphragm, which is ribs, right under your
it's
ribs,
right under your ribs.
is where you're going to hold
Yep.
your C, is
Yep.
what we call it.
Yep.
And we'll do a practice and show you.
Yeah.
But, okay, so that gives you the full breath.
Gives you the full breath, where a belly breath is just the expansion right at that tummy, and that's all how you're breathing. And oftentimes with your belly breath, you're either making it too shallow or too long, or vice versa. So it's all dependent, but you're increasing your nervous system and making it more heightened.
Fight or flight.
Fight or flight. Yeah. So the ideal is the 360 diaphragmatic breath.
Awesome. It's amazing, such simple little practices.
Yeah.
And I use that word practice with everything. Yeah. It's almost like we have to relearn how to breathe.
We do.
And it's never too late because we don't recognize the impact that our breath has on every area within.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We're driving down the road, somebody cuts us off. Our natural reaction is, and you hold your tummy in.
Correct.
So that's those simple little things, because our body wants to protect us and puts us in this fight or flight. But we have the ability to stop that through pausing awareness.
Yes.
Does no good. Because as a matter of fact, when we do an incorrect breath, it brings more inflammation and toxicity throughout our whole body and our mind.
You got it. It's saying we're in crisis right now. So that's what you do. And when you hold your breath, you're just you're causing that crisis situation more. So breathing through any difficult situation is definitely ideal. I have a crazy story about a guy I worked with. If you don't mind, I can share that real quick.
Please do, yes.
Was really, so I work in the hospital, and he really wanted to stand in order to walk again. And I just said to him, I said, well, let me see how you do it. First thing I noticed was shoulders shrugged, muscles tightened, held the breath, went to go stand, couldn't get up. And you could just see the deflate and the defeat in the situation. And I said, well, why don't we work a little bit on breath? And this guy was like, yeah, right, lady. What are we going to get out
Breathing
of it?
to help me stand up. Okay. I know how to breathe.
Right. I know how to breathe. And so I did a quick, this is how the letter C, we make this letter C, we put it on our diaphragm. Let's see. And we really talked and focused more on the exhale and how when you go to do something that is challenging, I don't know if I have that, if you go to do something that is challenging, it's going to help to really deliver your outcome. So we were doing deep breathing in, and I knew he had a really good inhale. And then I said, on that exhale, I want you to really get ready to push, to stand up. And he did fantastic. So the longer he was able to exhale, the more leverage he had in order to get up. So he was able to stand. And it was really funny because I didn't think he was going to follow through this. You know, I had asked him to do several more stands later. Every single time, hold on. It would be like, hold on, let me get my breath.
Oh, I love
And
it.
so it is such a combination of everything that we do in our daily life. We don't even have to be thinking, hey, I should be breathing normally. If you put some intention and some awareness, especially if you're in a really rough spot, this guy really wanted to stand in order to walk. He was able to do it with breath work.
You can stand with breath work.
It was awesome. I mean, there's more things to it.
Right.
What a
but
gift.
The bottom line is breath work.
Yeah.
And how interesting, because often it's a focus of inhaling because everybody knows how to exhale.
Right.
So to hear you say, it was great. He knew how to inhale.
Yeah.
It wasn't a long enough exhale.
Exhale.
So that's another key thing. It's not
Absolutely.
just when we're aware of our breath, when we tune ourselves into it, it's not just the awareness of the breath we're taking in, filling our bodies up. It's also that out breath.
It's the out breath. And the longer you have a really good out breath, often that is where your nervous system can reset again. It's not because as soon as he started to go ahead into that exhale, the shoulders dropped, the muscle tension dropped. You know, and so those are the components on that exhale. That to me is more valuable to really focus on that exhale and to really lengthen it. But there are some different breathing techniques in order to lengthen it, because many people can't, they struggle either with the inhale or they struggle with the exhale.
Yeah.
So if you'd like, I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about those two techniques.
Yeah, share techniques for sure.
So one of them is the 1-to-1 breath. And the biggest thing here is with breathing for 1-to-1. I always have people just breathe normally. Give me 5 deep breaths. And so we're going to do it right now. And probably as you're hearing on this is that I'm really pretty forceful on my exhale. But what I'm going to ask you is, can you kind of give me on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being slow thoughts and 10 being racing thoughts, where do you fall right now?
More 3.
A 3. Okay. 5 is going to be our optimal of where we want to be. So 3 is actually not bad at all. On a scale, again, of 1 to 10, 1 being extreme exhaustion and fatigue, and 10 being that restlessness and hyperactivity, where do you fall right now?
5.
At a 5. So pretty even keel. 5 is optimal. So getting yourself and giving yourself a baseline is going to be absolutely imperative.
Awesome. Yes.
And then what we want to do from there, especially if you have a hard time, if you notice during those breathing techniques, like I'm having a really hard time on the inhale and my exhale's not really long, or I'm just doing one of the I'm done. We want to make that nice and coordinated. So we want to make that a beautiful inhale, pause, and a beautiful exhale. And if it's all like, we want to try to fix that.
Your whole body,
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
exactly. Yeah. So,
it tells us.
So with the 1-to-1 breath, the ultimate goal is when you do 5 more breaths and you really focus on your breath for about 3 to 4 minutes, the focus is can I take that inhale and can I inhale it 1 more second longer than I did before?
Ah, okay.
So it's bringing awareness to your initial inhale, how long it took for you to do it. And then it's bringing that awareness as to how long was I able to exhale? How many seconds was I able to exhale? And the ultimate goal is trying to be able to increase it by 1 second.
Interesting.
So if I try again and I go back to my breath work and I say, okay, now I'm going to inhale. If my initial is I could only inhale for 3 seconds and I was exhaling for 5, I want to now improve it and I want to get to 4 seconds on the inhale, and now I want to exhale for 6.
Okay.
So I'm going to try it.
Do it with us. Oh, I'm not a good exhaler. That's something I have to practice. I'm realizing that.
Yeah.
Right now, I just had this realization.
Yeah.
And I breathe all the time, as we do.
Yeah.
I cannot exert as much as
long as you thought maybe you could.
Yeah.
So this is a great technique. It's called the 1-to-1 breathing. But the important part is right at the end to give yourself some grace. If you're forcing an inhale or forcing an exhale, what you're doing is you're then tightening all of the other aspects in your body. Your neck, your facial muscles, especially the up by the cheeks, your diaphragm, your butt cheeks, all of that. Yeah, your shoulder, you got it. You're tightening all of that. And so when you're tightening all of that, all you're doing is you're increasing your nervous system and you're putting it basically on notice that you're in a fight or flight. Why am I not being able to exhale or inhale longer? Right. And I can even just feel just like saying that, right? So then the ultimate goal is to really give yourself awareness and that grace that right now, today, I might only be able to inhale for 3 seconds, but my goal is maybe in a week, maybe I can inhale for 4.
Awesome.
And so that's the 1-to-1 breathing technique.
Okay.
And then the other technique that I find to be really useful is the 2-to-1, which is the same type of thing. It's taking a baseline, it's identifying where do I fall on that continuum with my mental and emotional levels on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being those slow thoughts, 10 being those racing thoughts, getting that baseline for your energy level. Am I totally fatigued at 1 or am I so hyped up at 10? And really trying to get you back to that 5-ish spot. Now, it's okay if you're at, because you told me earlier you were at a 3. Mm-hmm. And that's actually not a bad area. You're close to almost optimal at 5. So it's not a bad thing. So it's to give yourself more awareness, more grace. So with the 2-to-1, the basic purpose and premise is to really now try to, once you successfully figured out the 1-to-1 breathing technique, try to really improve it by 2 more breaths.
Okay. So 1-to-1 is I breathe in 4, I breathe out 4. 2-to-1 is I breathe in 4, I breathe out 5. For an example. An example.
You want to increase it.
And I love like that idea of, well, I feel like I'm always breathing, right? But to do kind of a self-reflection, like kind of a check.
Yeah.
Where am I at emotionally?
Yes.
Like, are my thoughts running? If they're really running, because before we did that breath work, I would probably be 5 or 6 after the breath work calms me down, right?
Right.
Am I really tired? Oh, so when you're really tired, take a couple of breaths, appropriate 1-to-1 breaths, and it will revitalize you.
Yeah.
You're feeling like your mind is going in all different directions.
You got it.
Come back to breath.
Yeah, breath
like,
work for
just
adults.
Come back.
Yep.
Like breath seems to be the foundation of our health for everything.
It is absolutely the foundation. For me, it is the biggest thing, even with all my challenges with the infertility. If I'm sitting at that red light or, the person's not moving and they're out of that left lane and I got to get somewhere, you know what? I'm going to take that breath. I'm going to take that breath, reset myself, because all I'm doing is I'm starting to feel the tension, the shoulders, the butt, the neck, the face. Yep. And so if I can reset, that's the biggest thing. And that's breath work.
Oh, and it actually is quite simple.
It really is.
It's pausing and having an awareness where I'm at. Where's my breath going?
Yeah, absolutely.
So neat.
Yeah.
Let's do a 4-7-8 with whoever's watching
it.
together, just so that, why don't you try with us? holding it, breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 7 seconds, and breathing out for 8, right?
Yeah.
So you want to do it now.
And I'm going to just make a comment that if anyone is out there and can't do it, that's a great starting point. If you're like, I can't breathe in for 4 seconds, you can only do 2, then take note. And then that's the focus, is the goal, to work on that, to try to get yourself up to 4. And eventually then you'll be doing the 1-to-1 technique, and then you'll be up to 5 and 6 and 7 and so
and
forth.
Be able to bring it.
But yeah, I think let's go ahead and probably do the 4, 7, 8. That will kind of give us a great foundation. And if you have any other
So is there a particular place I should place my hands so that awareness comes through more?
Sure. I mean, some people do not put any awareness, like they just kind of like to prefer to be kind of their hands out, kind of by their side. I personally find I get a lot from where is my breath coming from when I place my hand on my chest. And then I love doing the C, because I can really see if I'm incorporating my 360 diaphragmatic breath.
Love it.
So yeah, let's do the 4, 7, 8 technique.
So just place. I often put my hand on my heart. I do that naturally, but make that C, and at the very, I'll stand up. At the very bottom of your rib cage, right, is where.
So your diaphragm is like
right
where your, almost right where your bra line is. So it's kind of like, it's right, for me, it's right by my ribs.
Okay. Yeah.
But everyone, I don't know, it could be a little bit different.
And the more you practice, the more you'll become familiar with what that C is.
Yeah, I think it's great. So
Okay.
yeah, let's do that. We'll do the 4, 7, 8. So inhale for 4, hold for 7, and exhale for 8.
Yours was more like 10.
I know.
So good.
But I've been focused. I've been practicing. It's taken me a really long time. I was only probably able to maybe, on my exhale, I used to only be able to maybe do 3 to 4. Like, I really was not good at it. But this has been
practice.
Years in practice in the making.
So maybe a suggestion, when we're feeling kind of out of sorts, or even like I would call it transition breath. So you're in your car, you're done with work, you're about to go into the house, and you're going to a different environment from work into family and whatever. Take that breath.
Absolutely.
You get bombarded with people as soon as you walk in. Here you just calmed yourself down, and already
you're ready to start.
Another time just to take a breath.
Absolutely.
Yep. Driving down the road. So it's a simple awareness.
Yep.
Couple of practices throughout the day, because it really is amazing how often people just don't know how to breathe correctly.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and I found through, workshops and stuff, breathing, when they breathe in, their stomach goes in. Feel that. Like, that's the biggest thing. So even just starting, right? Just looking in the mirror, side mirror, and see what happens when I'm taking a breath in. What happens?
Yeah.
Am I holding it in? So many people, surprisingly, they hold their breath in.
Yeah. And we hold our breath in when we do a lot of activities too, which is a big, that escalates our nervous system more than it should. But yeah.
And just, I mean, what a beautiful experience with that gentleman. He couldn't stand. He was able to stand by breathing.
We were able to stop the shrugging. We were able to stop the tightness, to focus on the breath and the stand.
I love it.
And he can carry that now for the rest of his, like, he knows. So there you go.
And that's it. Like, here you go. Here's all you have to do.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more.
Yeah.
Here she is, the breathwork expert with the OT, and because you've had the experience of knowing the importance of this tool of breath work.
Oh, 100%.
It's so simple.
Yep.
It seems almost too simple to be true. Be aware of your breath, and your life will slow down. I mean, right now it's the holiday season, so everybody's in rush mode.
Yeah.
no matter what season you're in.
Yeah.
It's so important just to come back. I think also breath work brings us back to right here, right now.
You got it. Presence.
Just being present.
And if you want to talk about presence, I'll just go on a little side gig here, but grounding, another technique for presence and awareness is the 5-4-3-2-1 technique, which is just taking in your environment and taking in your awareness of your senses and being present that way. So you usually find 5 things that you might see, and you just can sit and focus on your breath as you do 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And that is presence.
Oh, I love it.
So
they go hand in hand.
they do.
And each of those bring us back to the sacred spot of no rushing around, no environment, no outside issues. Just come back to self.
You got it. Yep.
Just
that's it.
So we encourage you to breathe.
Yeah,
is pretty much
absolutely.
what it is.
Yeah.
This is exciting because this is just our first episode of a series we're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little spoiler. We had a retreat yesterday, and one of the people that was here with a constipation issue and menopausal, and you were able to get them on the table and have some relief for that.
Yeah.
So let's do some more episodes with pelvic work on the ground. I'll be your guinea pig.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
Lucky you. And but to be able to see it.
Yeah.
How this is really working, how this breath
Absolutely.
is working. So,
Absolutely. Breath is your foundation, and it is the most imperative thing. It's our core, and our core is the most important thing. That's how we are upright animals, and we're able to walk around and continue our lives as we can breathe.
So here's a few techniques that she's going to show me.
All right, so for a client who might not really understand the breath work, just to provide that awareness, something you can use is as simple as a ball. And if you don't have a ball, you can always use a pillow. It's not a big deal. I do have a ball in this case. So my client, Julie here, is actually going to do me a favor. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to slide the ball right in that crease right here between her ribs and her hips. And so the big thing here is to really focus and have Julie have that awareness of where her breath is. So I'm going to have her place that claw C hand right on the rib cage right here. And so I'm going to have Julie, can you go ahead and kind of lay down even more in that footing? So what we're going to do is we're really going to watch where her breath is coming from. So I'm going to have you inhale, breathe in, and breathe out. And I can see right here, if you do it again, that her ribs are expanding and they are recoiling. And I can also see she's got some belly movement here, which is fantastic. So these are the things I want her to bring awareness to during breathing. All right, Julie, that's that. Oh, so the next one, you're all right?
I'm good.
Good. All right.
Yeah, and you can really
Feel it.
yeah.
And what it
Stand
does is
awareness.
the bell is blocking that other side. So it forces you to really focus. Remember we were sitting earlier and I said you want to do it to the right and to the left. That really helps because if you have one side that you're not feeling much movement from, this really helps to get that more awareness for that 360. The next thing I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about the belly breathing and the 360. So I'm actually going to have you stand. Take that too. Come on. We're going to stand facing this way, just like you were to the side. This way. You good? Good. All right. So the big thing here is I want to talk about the difference between the belly breathing. And the belly breathing is all of the expansion is coming from the belly. And it shouldn't be coming from the ribs. So I'm going to place my hands underneath her ribs. And I'm just going to have her relax as best as she can. Because the more you're tight, guess what you're doing? You're up in your nervous system. So I'm going to have you go ahead and show me just where your belly is doing all the work. So her belly is coming out a little bit. She's actually a really good 360 diaphragmatic breather, so this is kind of hard for her. There it is. There's a little bit more belly breathing. So now I'm going to tune into the more optimal 360 breathing. And this is where I have my hands. I want you to nice and relaxed. I can even feel you're a little tense right now. So this is where she's really going to be pushing into those claws, and I should be seeing the thumbs and the fingers all moving and feeling. All right, I'm going to have you breathe in. There it is. I can even, my hands are all moving beautifully. And the exhale. And her chest is moving slightly, not much, and that's okay. And her belly, go ahead, one more. Is a little bit of movement, but not much. She is a phenomenal person at 360 diaphragmatic breathing. So this is how you do 360 diaphragmatic breathing versus belly breath.
Interesting.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I didn't know that I knew how to breathe correctly. Thank you, Taber. Go out, breathe, inhale, peace, exhale, stress. You got it. Until next.